For today's speech, my persuasive speech, I will be talking about should standardized testing decide if a student is admitted to a college. I had to deal with this process when I was applying to colleges, and I feel like standardized testing should not be a thing when you're applying for colleges. So, with looking at the high school seniors beginning to look at their dream schools, their stress levels are very high. Students are studying their butts off and worrying about what they will get as a result. But the real question is whether the ACT or if you're taking the SAT are what you really need to get into your dream schools. First off, standardized tests are not an effective way to judge if a student is capable of excelling at the college level. In a Learning English article, it states research is proof that standardized tests are not a good way to measure if a student can be successful at the college level. Standardized testing is being looked at too much, and there aren't enough eyes looking at the whole at what students are doing outside of the classroom. For example, like sports, clubs or extracurricular things, jobs. By students being involved in other things outside of the classroom, they learn a sense of responsibility and time management, which I agree because I've had a job throughout my whole high school career, so that's something that I definitely agree about. Standardized tests are time tests, and they don't prove really anything. It isn't normal for a college student to be timed at all. Like testing, I mean, you have the class period, but like it's not as such pressure. At least that's what I think. It is proving how well you will do with the test that is timed. The ACT does not prepare you for college. College students will stay up all night and write a paper and take their time. A college student should take their time and try to bring their best to the table when something is due. But standardized tests is just stressful because of the time limit you have for each section. Students who do not do their daily homework and have a lower GPA may get a higher score on their test, but that doesn't prove to a school if they are putting in the same effort they do during the regular class time in high school. Versus when they get to college. Secondly, studying for a standardized test is key to getting a great score obviously on the test. But for some students, preparing for the test isn't as easy for others. I mean, depending on where students are from and their backgrounds, preparing for a huge test like this can be difficult. Not all of us have access to free ways to study. You don't have your counselors helping you, so it just depends on kind of where you're from and your background. I mean, even your home life, just depending on how you live. I mean, you have better ways of being able to study. I mean, someone that has a better incoming family is able to afford obviously tutors and people that can help you. With a family that is less fortunate, standardized tests can be harder for them to study for because they don't have the money to afford it. Lastly, standardized testings are missing many important skills to be successful to be a successful college student. Standardized tests hinder any kind of creative or out of the box thinking, which is still that you are doing in college. The test should have everything on it that you'll endure during your time as a college student, not just 4 subjects that you have to do great in. There's more to college than just certain classes. I mean, there's so much more. They should be looking at how you can handle things besides your classes, like staying fit and healthy, how to do a simple library search, or even situations that will problem you in college. Universities need to begin looking beyond our standardized test scores. Students are doing many other great things in today's world besides taking tests. Incoming college students should be looked at all across the board before a final decision will be made. Not everyone is on board for getting rid of standardized testing. Jack Buckley from the Learning English article states, no thoughtful admission officials would consider one standardized test to be the result of applicants. So he's basically saying that they do look more at our all around like achievements, not just our test scores. High schools are helping students change their first and second time scores. They're helping students find ways to get better scores on the test. Tests also are ways to see what a student's strengths and weaknesses are. They give the university a better understanding of what support services they need for students, and standardized. That is why college students that is why college still requires to send your composite score when you are going off to a college. To wrap up all this, standardized tests are not an effective way to determine if a student should be accepted into a college. The test is equal for all high school students, and it is timed and causes stress. It is truly isn't preparing you for college, what college has to throw at you. Standardized tests should be removed when applying for colleges. The benefits for having a college look past your standardized test scores will be nice, and it will give students a better feeling while they are going through the process of applying for colleges. That's it.